We're going to talk about the EA press conference. I don't want to call it press. E3 2014 EA conference. About what game they showed there. It was pretty cool. It was alright. Wasn't too much. Well, they did show a lot of more sports game as usual. They always show. In the beginning of they showed Star Wars Battlefront 2. Mostly was a teaser trailer, really. Just trying to tease the fans in the audience about Star Wars Battlefront 2. So they usually show trailers about it, all that stuff. I guess have EA just been working on it. I guess they're still working on the game, pretty much all that. That's what they showed at the beginning. They get the conference hyped up and all that stuff about the Star Wars Battlefront 2. So mostly, it was just mostly show teaser trailer and all that sort of stuff. Wasn't nothing too amazing yet happening yet. Next, they showed a gameplay of Dragon Age Inquisition. The Xbox conference, Microsoft conference, they didn't show no gameplay. They just showed like a trailer of it and all that. But this one they showed gameplay when you're fighting stuff, fighting creatures and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if it's creatures or not, just fighting like people or whatever. Not really my type of game, Dragon Age Inquisition. Never played Dragon Age 1 or 2, really. They were showing some gameplay of that, talking about all that sort of stuff. Be cool, pretty cool. Forgot what they showing out there. I'm not sure what they were showing out there. I think it was like they were talking about the new Sims. Like this has the Sims 4. They were showing gameplay. They were showing. It's not really like gameplay. It was just they were just showing how it looks and all that sort of stuff. It was almost like a trailer, but really kind of almost was like it. It looks pretty much the same like the Sims 3, how it looks and all that sort of stuff. Make your player and all that, do all the different stuff you always do in Sims. It's supposed to be like a new kind of Sims game. I guess you can do like more stuff and all that different kind of stuff, I guess. Looks pretty much the same kind of, but I'm pretty sure the graphics will look more better for like PS4 and Xbox One maybe. Or maybe it'll look the same like it always does. But I'm pretty sure it looks pretty cool. Not really my type of awesome game that I would like, was very happy to not really see. Not really those type of games I'm like, oh my god, this game is amazing. Not really like my type. Look for after that, what was they showed after that? I think it was I think after the Dragon Age it was they showed another teaser trailer of a new Mass Effect. They just said it was just a new Mass Effect, new teaser trailers. They didn't really show that much gameplay or wasn't much of a trailer. They just usually showed developers working on the art and all that on their computers. They're just showing developers talking about it and all that sort of stuff. In their little trailer they have, they really show that much gameplay of it. Or what it's called, just mostly like just a new Mass Effect. Probably have more information later on in the future, I guess. See how that goes on with that. I was pretty pumped to see that. Still haven't. I played Mass Effect, the first one. Have beat it. Haven't played the second one or third one. I guess I'll have to start playing those since I have the trilogy of Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I guess I'll have to check that out. See how that is. What else they showed? That's showed the PGA Tour. It's supposed to look more 1080p-ish, more HD-ish, and it's supposed to have like a Frostbite 3 engine on it. I guess the player is supposed to look more realistic and all that, and have realistic courses, all the realistic courses they have in real life. You can like play golf and like hit a golf ball over a battleship, crushing into the island or the golf course and all that. It looks pretty weird. That ammo. It looked pretty weird to do just when the golf player just hitting the. It was mostly like a trailer, really, no gameplay. Mostly a trailer of the dude when the golf player is hitting a golf ball over a battleship. That's like a battleship that's crashing through the freaking golf course. Look pretty cool, I guess. But golf games are really not my type of game. What else they showed? They showed NHL. They're talking about they're showing off NHL 15. They showed a trailer of it. And they're talking about a little bit of. I think it was like a little bit of gameplay of it, but I think it was like cinematic gameplay, not really real life gameplay. Not like a cinematic that they show, cinematic scenes that they always show in games about what's happening, then it goes right into the gameplay and all that sort of stuff. They kind of said it was a gameplay trailer, but it looked more of a cinematic trailer. I'm not sure if it really looks like that, or how the Goffy's supposed to be. It looked more realistic and all that sort of stuff, like it always does. Nothing too much they can do with sports games they make every year. It's pretty much the same game every time. I guess they add a little bit more stuff to it every year, I guess. And then there's also showed UFC, EA Sports UFC game. First, they started off and they were showing a black and white. I think like a black and white documentary of Bruce Lee. He was talking about Bruce Lee was talking about stuff. I guess he was talking about his martial arts, like he was like almost like the best at what he did, best at fighting and everything. Even though they made a movie about him and all that. So they're showing like a black and white documentary of him talking. Since there's gonna be like, I'm pretty sure there's this DLC, or maybe he's in the game already of the UFC that you can play as Bruce Lee and all that sort of stuff. I think they showed that like the lightweight champion of UFC, something Jones. Haven't really watched UFC in a while. Talking about that, he would have always wanted to be Bruce Lee, but you really can't be Bruce Lee since he was the best. So they're pretty much showing Bruce Lee off that you can beat him in the UFC game and all that. They're showing they showed a gameplay demo of Bruce Lee fighting BJ Penn in the game, in the octagon and all that. He could do kicks and punches, all these roundhouse kicks and all that sort of stuff. Bruce Lee's moves and all that. It looks pretty interesting. The UFC games are pretty cool and all that stuff. Really can get into the football and all that type of games since they make one like every year. They also show Madden 15, really. They didn't really show any gameplay. They just show like a little trailer of it, not too much. I don't think they have any gameplay to show off with it yet. So they did talk about that players wanted to do more, wanted defense to be a little bit more fun to do when they're playing the game. So they were talking about it and show a little bit tweaks of how they were making the defense more fun, that you can control the tackles and I guess do different type of tackles and all that. I guess you were like, if you press the A button, you'd be able to do like a tackle or a stronger tackle, all that. They're just showing new defense stuff you can do in the Madden NFL 15 game, pretty much. No gameplay, just a trailer of how it look. I'm pretty sure they look the same. There's not really they can do with it since they just make one every year. It's the same thing every time. Even though it wouldn't be a waste of money just to buy a game every time, even though it's the same thing. Even though they just add a little bit of things to it. So the only thing that'd be different about this Madden would be like more defense things you can do. Control the plays of defense and all that sort of stuff. You can make different plays, I guess. Make it a little bit more funner than how it is now. They were showing FIFA 15 also. There was mostly like a trailer, not really much gameplay, not unless it was like the gameplay that's inside the trailer. There wasn't really showing anybody playing it. Mostly a trailer of showing the players off and the game being more realistic, like if you kick the ball and it hits like one of the flag poles in the corner, it bounces back and forward, or like when you hit the goal off one of those metal beams, it bounces off and the net swings around in the wind and all that sort of stuff. Like more realistic thing that happens in real life while you're like in real life stuff like the game. Talking about how the crowd is more like energetic, screaming more louder like it usually does in the video games. I guess the crowd be more realistic how it is now. Pretty much the same type of game. They're just showing new stuff about what they're having on for and all that sort of stuff. Let's see what else I can remember back in my head right now while playing this. I'm trying to remember what else they showed. I guess they showed Mirror Edge 2. They were showing a little bit of that. They were showing like it wasn't really gameplay either. Most of that trailer and all that. Talking about how they had real life parkour people do some of the stuff. Watching them doing some of the stuff and copying it inside the game and all that. Like how real parkour people jumping around and all that. So they having face being designed like that way to be able to do better jumping around buildings and all that, like she did in Mirror Edge 1. So they're just showing some of that. And they're talking about her character, that she must be awesome, that she has a tattoo on her eye and all that. Talking about, they didn't really show much gameplay. They're just usually talking about what they're doing for the game and all that sort of stuff. That'd be cool to see. That'd be cool to see. It's supposed to be better than Mirror Edge 1, even though Mirror Edge 1 was pretty cool. What else? I forgot what it's called. I think it was called Dawnstar or something. It was like a mobile game, like Dota 2 and League of Legends. It's supposed to be that type of game, like a strategy game and all that sort of stuff. Where you got defend like towers or destroy tower with different players, different type of players that they make, all the different players that they have, and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty much the same thing like League of Legends, pretty much. Those are not really not my type of games. Those games, I really don't hate the game, but those games are just not my type of game that I would play. So yeah, I'm usually like a new mobile game that's coming on the new mobile game that's for consoles and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure what console will be on since they're just Dawnstar. They were talking about that. They're like real competitive mobile players are testing it out and giving them what can make the game better, what could make the game more cooler and awesome and all that sort of stuff that they do with mobile games. Really don't know that mobile game since that's not my type of game really. What else? I think that was pretty much it. And they also, I think at the end they also showed I think the ending of the EA conference was when they showed Battlefield Hardline. That game looked freaking amazing. Yeah, it looked amazing to me and all that. Looks pretty awesome. Cops versus robbers, pretty much like a cops versus robbers. Open world, that's not open world, but like a map is like all big and huge and all that. You like stop you like the robbers and you stop like armored trucks and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure how big. I'm pretty sure the lobbies will be bigger on PC than on the Xbox One and PS4. I think it's also for PS3 and 360 too. So pretty much you have like 8 versus 8, I guess you can have one for 16-player lobby, I guess, or maybe bigger. And you can do like, I guess you rob from an armored truck, and you got there's like 3 points where you can drop money off and all that. That's A, B, and C. And you're like, you can be the cops, you can be like, you can drive different cars, so you can drive cop cars, and the robbers can drive cars on the streets, and they can just get in the cop cars and just steal them and all that. And they have airplanes and all, I mean, helicopters. You can drive around and all that and shoot dudes down and all that stuff and switch between different cars, trying to carry this bag of money in you. And all the robbers, it's like robbers versus cop. You got your team of robbers helping you out. Multiplayer, I think it's mostly a multiplayer game and all that, since it's cops versus robbers. I guess you switch between cops, robbers. You want to steal stuff, you can go inside buildings, use elevators, go up buildings, or jump off building with a parachute like they were showing. Like it could be a cop and you're sniping the robbers through the building and all that when you're like in a sniper spot where you're just shooting down these robbers inside the building, or you can be in the helicopter shooting down the robbers in their vehicles and all that. And then you can also they're showing robbers and cops zip lining to the locations and all that sort of stuff. They're showing like you can snipe. They're showing a copper sniping a robber that was inside the airplane, inside the helicopter, sniping him, and it was going down, and you just jump out and he just parachutes onto the ground, getting into another car. And they're also showing when the robbers inside the car had a minigun on top of it, and they were blasting down the helicopters and all that sort of stuff. Doing all these different things that I was doing, it was pretty cool to see all that sort of stuff. I think that was like the most amazing thing I've seen on the EA conference, was showing all that, and they were announcing that the beta was live today on the PS4 and the PC. That you had to sign up on Origins, or you go to like Battlefield.com and sign up for the Battlefield Hardline beta to play it today and all that sort of stuff. But I'm pretty sure it's full right now since a bunch of people are trying to get on it and all that stuff. And they're also showing, like, after all that was over, they were showing like a 1-hour event of, I think it was like 16 players playing on the roof, and with the commentaries and all that. They were on top of a roof playing the game, standing up. It looked like a little arcade machine they were playing on, but it was mostly like a bunch of PS4s connected inside of these little arcade thingies. They were just playing on top of the building. They were showing off what they were showing off in the beginning. And they were showing off another game mode called Blood Money, I guess, when cops and robbers just collect money and see who has the most money at the end of the game, I guess. So yeah, it's pretty much that. It's like different between Battlefield. No soldiers on there, just usually cops versus robbers and all that sort of stuff. So that's it. The EA conference I can really say. They didn't show no NBA Live 15 or nothing like that. That's another game EA makes, but they didn't show no NBA Live 15 or nothing like that. So that's it for the EA conference recap. I guess since it was different between Xbox, since I really talked about the game, since it has so many games coming out, and they really didn't say anything about them like they do in these, like EA usually said more things about their games. Like in Microsoft, they didn't really say anything about the games. We're just showing the games out, not showing when they come out or nothing like that. I think Battlefield Hardline comes out this year or next year. I'm not sure about that, even though they released beta today, so that everybody can check it out on PS4 and PC and all that sort of stuff. So that's it for the EA recap. I guess next will be I'll talk about the Ubisoft conference recap about that, since PlayStation, since Sony, their PlayStation conference starts like at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and all that sort of stuff.